But when you're talking about your part, you can send it to Sure.
What about it?
Yeah, it's like, oh man, they're gonna be the last one in there. But
No, I came after.
and there's another one too, so we're good. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. You can actually reverse the screen. So it's live stream is backwards.
Oh dear. I'm not in front of. Okay. All right.
Let's see. You're fine, I think.
Out of it.
I can move this one. Worst case.
You're good. Okay. Oh, he literally took off. This is a judgment.
I did like have to move on
Priority.
So
Jonathan. Nice to meet you.
Aaron.
Oh, you're facing everyone.
I don't think like that.
So like I saw him stuff like. How about you?
I'm a programmer.
Oh, great.
Don't know. I forget at this point. I forget if I asked or not.
I get that. Like, what did you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what
I knew that last year.
a lot of this stuff. But they
I was like, thank God I don't have to do this. Are you kidding me? When they cut that off,
I wanted to do that.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, I think it's more in the That's the East Coast. Yeah.
all right, okay, well, so that would be super casual.
Yeah. They'll have a system.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing you.
A quick reminder, when after the presentations, when we go over to the new theater for the award ceremony, because it's a brand new building, they're asking that no food or drinks be brought in. So just be aware that we're not supposed to have any food or drinks in the new building when we go over to present. So, enjoy your drinks while you can.
And a few of these kind of things I passed, and I don't do them anymore.
Oh, teamwork.
Yeah. I would experiment with a bunch of stuff. Like I was looking briefly at like their agenda and some things looks like they get exposed to
It's not the same thing. I didn't see it.
The value of water. Your project is not submitted. We need your project to be submitted right now before that post kick you off. There's like a minute left. Thank you.
see the last one on top of it.
Are we all?
Is this a good one?
Already there, it looks like.
Actually, no.
That's what to me, I was having.
What? You're fine.
It's delightful. Oh, it's so much. I know, just doing shit.
Okay, so the order of presentations will be random, and we are randomly sorting them. I mean, sorting isn't random. We're randomizing them right now, and we will let you know. But pretty much the way it's gonna go is you get 3 minutes to present. Minji, are you helping them set up the dongle?
Yeah, there will be only 2 dongles. It's either HDMI or USB or Type C.
Okay, so make sure that the laptop you're demoing on has either HDMI or USB-C. And based on your order, we'll have one group presenting and we'll have one group on deck. The group on deck should be making sure that like everything's working, so that way all they have to do is connect with the projector, but you can project whatever you want on the screen. You get 3 minutes to present, and then just make sure that if you are the group presenting right after the next group, you're ready to come on deck, and then you're ready to present immediately, because we are going to be running short on time.
If you look onto if you look onto your depo's page, you'll see a page that just popped up called table number. Your table number is your presentation course 5, and you'll be able to find it.
All right, first 5 projects are.
Wait, give me a second.
Yeah.
First 5 soccer buddies. Environmental revolution. Study buddies. Social issues. And Wolf of Wall Street.
So then my first project.
All right, we have 1 minute till the first presentation, so can soccer buddies please come up? And you can leave your stuff where you're sitting.
And first, raise your hand.
Who's soccer buddies?
All right.
Okay.
Next 2 groups, just be ready. You need to be up. You need to be up here when they finish.
So just a really quick recap. Everybody listen up. Just a really quick recap. So we have overall prizes, first, second, and third prize, and then we also have special awards that we're going to announce at the award ceremony. Our prizes are these prizes, of which you can find on our dev post, and pretty much how awards are given out. After awards are given out, we'll send out a Google form that allows award winners to prioritize their or rank their prizes, and then we'll assign prizes based on that. So our judges, we have Jonathan Knapp. He's a software consultant at Coffee and Code. And then we have Beth Joyev. She's a naturalist at the Cleveland Metro Parks. We have Zach Lada on FaceTime right now. No one can see him because he's facing this direction. But he is the executive director and founder of Hack Club. Minji and I both worked very closely with him over the summer. And then Minji will be independently evaluating the code base aspect of the rubric. Okay. Ready? We can have team keep we need another dongle.
I was just gonna say, just live in it.
We need another dongle.
48 hours.
Do you have a Thunderbolt? Do you have a Thunderbolt?
I walked you through the Chinese.
Is yours just a website? Oh, just a website. We can, can you just pull it up? And just a quick note, at 3 minutes, I will start clapping, which means you need to stop presenting.
What did we do? What did I do? That, nothing I do.
Hello, I am Michael Picciarello. This is Zach Petrix. Okay, come on. And the game that we are presenting, or I suppose website, or whatever the heck you want, is soccer. And with this, soccer is rather quick, and it allows for people to get more active right away, and it releases tension. So instead of it being such as, I don't know, releasing that tension in a harmful way to somebody else, you do it in this way. You just run around the field, you get to kick the ball, you get to screw around.
And with the fast-paced movement of the characters, it's a great exercise for your mind, which is something that's an effect in our society, because there are people that don't have the same mental capabilities as their peers, and this can be a great exercise for their brain.
Can't do 2 players. You cannot do it yourself. I cannot do 2 players for myself. And as far as the code base, we used CodePen, which has it has all of the HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript aspects for this. And I don't know why that got with so why I hate this computer right now. What?
So with our presentation, we just wanted to make a fun game that was also a exercise for your brain because of the fast-paced movement. You have to think about where your character is in relation to the ball. But we didn't put a screen scaling element into it, so it's moving around because we used arrow keys and WASD for movement of both characters. And that's it.
Thank you for the presentation. Next up, we have Environmental Revolution.
Yeah, again, HDMI or USB Type-C. No Thunderbolt, no HDMI. Nothing, none of that.
Yeah, we could do.
Right, yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
I don't need to hear them all. Okay, just same page, okay.
It probably won't show them, but it'd be nice to know, especially schools.
Yeah.
So when we were prompted with trying to solve a social problem, the main thing that we wanted to do initially was build something that would appeal to the younger generation, because the younger generations are the ones that are going to have to solve the social issues of today. And one of the biggest issues of today is climate change. And that is why we decided to build Environmental Revolution. So initially our idea for this game would be a 2D game that we would build in Unity, where a player plays against a computer. And the computer is trying to destroy the world by building factories, building cars, and you as the player need to try to raise awareness for climate change, try to plant trees, and do various other things to combat this issue. But as most ideas are, they don't always come out exactly as planned. So midway through building this project in Unity, the person in our group who codes in Unity had to leave. So we switched to a Java text-based game. And that's where Everett is gonna.
Okay. So we start out with just some basic instructions how to play the game. Then we open a loop. The loop will just determine how many rounds there are. So that's going to loop through every round. The player has a couple of options. You can either plant trees, upgrade your energy efficiency, so solar cells, wind, energy, hydroelectric, nuclear, so on. You can destroy already existing factories, destroy cars, or improve homes. Those three cost money though. So a couple of ways to make money are to build factories, set up fundraisers, or raise awareness. Building factories raises the most money, but also increases your pollution. So you have to kind of like pick your poison. So there's two ways to lose. You either run out of funding. So if you run out of funding, you're eventually going to not be able to combat pollution anymore. Or if your pollution exceeds 100%, humans are going to start dying, which is a bad thing. But if you get your pollution level down to 0%, then the computer counts that as a win. And then a couple other just basic algorithms towards the bottom. Joe?
So this was our Unity stuff. So what we're doing here is we're setting up each continent separately. So each continent has a different multiplier, and it's supposed to be similar to actual real life, where the multiplier is so every turn they get a certain amount of points each continent, but the multiplier, say Asia Africa produces less pollution than other continents, so they'll have a multiplier below 1 to lower it.
One more thing. I think I clarified this enough earlier. We want to see demos. Yeah.
Yes, especially when they have time-based activities during this.
Heavy consideration.
Okay, so our generation has generally received a lot of criticism for being technology obsessed, social media addicted, and we do not have a lot of face-to-face personal experiences anymore. However, social media also has the power of connecting people in an extremely convenient way across miles, across large distances. and others. So we decided to bring the best of both worlds together. And we created Study Buddies, which is essentially a social media platform for connecting high schoolers to other high schoolers who would want to study, and essentially create a study group. To start off, most of us here are very inexperienced in CSS, HTML, and JavaScript, so it was a bit of struggle at first, and our project is incomplete. However, this is what we do have that is functional. So we have our homepage here, and you can sign up for an account, or theoretically, here it is. You can sign up for an account here.
We sign up for the account here, and we can store it inside of a database of values where we can manipulate them and work with them to give you a better group of people. However, we still are not quite finished with the front end work where we can actually help show you that.
Yeah, so currently what we do have is quite basic that we can actually show. This is essentially what the skeleton of the website would be, and then this is the coding, which
Yeah, this is the server itself. We use a SQLite database to store the values. If I could just actually scroll. We're able to work with the values we have inside the database, but ideally in the future we'd like to migrate to a database that would be more divided by location, so that we can sort through less values and increase our O efficiency. We might be the first group to finish early.
Next group. Are you guys USB-C or HDMI? This is our social issues project. We need solving social problems. It's used to mostly communicate with people, as in like social issues is like necessary communicating card. And the problems with the economy and life, basically. So if you're homeless, been in debt, poverty, bullying, terrorism, pollution, examples right here. So solutions. So some of the examples are finding work. To prevent it, we use education and job opportunities and other important social issues such as bullying can be avoided if schools get more involved with each situation before it gets out of their control.
So with the code, we're fairly new to HTML, so it's very basic, but mainly we just use links to open new web pages to create a multi-web page website. And we use the CSS, this fairly simple programming just to create the design. That's all.
Soft and undecipherable.
CBC Simulator meets Ocean Revolution Hackathon.
On our computer system. Can we move down or something? Because our computer's just like randomly restarting.
We can move it down to let's move it down one group. Right?
Oh, sure, that's fine. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
CBC Simulator.
CBC Simulator.
What was that guy?
I have no.
Give me a one-at-one.
Got that off street.
Okay. All right. So hi, I'm Nikhil.
My name's Philip.
I'm right.
So today, over the past 24 hours, we created a game called CBC Simulator, and Shivan's going to explain a little bit about how we got that inspiration.
So pretty much we're partially inspired by gameplay game, and we sort of wanted to represent the different challenges and obstacles for different scientists and researchers trying to stop or prevent like epidemics such as like the coronavirus.
So Philip, you want to explain how this works a little bit?
Yeah, so in the game, you basically have choices to try to slow down and hopefully eventually stop the spread of a deadly virus. You have a fixed amount in money, and you can invest in treatment or invest in cure or invest in vaccines each turn. And
With the coronavirus, the government they had problems with.
Yeah. So like many world governments have been talking about how like we're gonna solve this issue, like it's not a big deal and things like that. But we wanted to talk a little bit more about how like what like actually the process is behind that and like what are some of the struggles. And so like with this game, like you can invest in like little treatment centers which slow like the spread of the disease, and then you can also research the cure to the thing, which will ultimately help you win the game, and then also research a vaccine, which will completely stop the spread of the disease. So ultimately, what we aim to do with this is like it's just to raise awareness about like what actually goes on behind like these politicians' words and behind like our world leaders like the struggles like that these doctors and scientists endure, and like some of like the uncertainties that they have. Like you only have 3 buttons here, and like obviously there are much more in the real world, but there are also a lot more variables than we included in this. And so in our code, we actually included like an exponential spread for the virus and other things like that, to make it simulate real world, but we also included a map which wasn't the globe to also make it more abstract and just like to make the underlying concept of like just respecting researchers and doctors shine through. Thank you. Just no.
Oh, wait, we're not.
It's okay, it's opening up now. How many seconds do we have? 20. Because like, it was such a random crash, we didn't even know this happened.
I was looking all of this. Like, it's like.
No, it's loading up. Like the entire thing, like the entire computer.
Oh.
Why can't you go to before?
No, we couldn't, it
did, but
crashed.
crashed and then it updated the
Are
entire
we going to the next?
Windows reset.
Alright.
Look at them at the left. Look at the back.
Okay, you're moving to last.
Yeah, we're going to the last.
Thank you.
Oh, in this round?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. Yeah, just make sure your computer loads up before you come up, so we don't waste more time on this. Thanks. Lumi.
Yes.
Who's after them?
Lumi, and then Ocean Revolution, Amazon Tab, the word source.
Okay, Ocean Revolution on deck. Yeah, it should be behind the, oh yeah, the HDMI.
All right. So a big thing going high schoolers have is we're gonna move on to the next step, and that next step is ultimately gonna end up being college. But when it comes to just like the transition from high school was from 8th grade, you meet a whole bunch of new people, but it could be tens of thousands of more new people and new faces. So we thought of an issue was trying to find a new roommate, because some people that you have roommate-wise may not be people that you like. They could be completely different from you, and they could just have different habits that you don't find helpful, and that could start you off freshman year-wise, and that could not be something that you would really enjoy. So we came up with the solution of roommates. So it's kind of like, Tinder, but different for, people that do.
It'll make sense this way.
Yeah, it'll make sense while Brian explains more.
Okay, I'm here, but I'm already logged in, so I can just go ahead to my profile page. It's got a profile picture with my name, my gender, my race, because some college dorms require you to separate by gender. My contact information if I'm matched with and my potential roommate wants to talk to me. My about, so then if you match with someone, then you can look more into what they're interested in. And this about section down here is a tag system that we use. And this tracks specific habits and interests that people are in. So then they can be able to live more symbiotically with their roommates. So like if you are a night owl, then you can check this. If you like a clean roommate, then uncheck this. And when you update the settings, this will be what you are compared against with your other roommates. And this would be the algorithm that we would use to match roommates.
So like Brian said, the information on your profile is purely personal that you can share with people after your match, but these are the things that will actually be used to run through the algorithm to match you with others. And we didn't get very far into this, so we don't have a created algorithm, but then the more preferences we add, the more accurate and better your match will be to find people. And then I think our next step that we also didn't get to would to be create a chat. So once you're able to match with people, you'll be able to view their profile, view some of their public information, and then if you both agree to chat, more personal information will be shared. And then also what we would plan to do in the future with this website is link both with more social media platforms and with colleges to confirm, so you can't lie saying I'm going to this school, so that you are confirmed you're going to.
Thank you.
Could you send me also?
Oh, okay.
Ocean Revolution.